It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Hello and welcome to Countywide. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. Today we are talking with Pam Van Winkle, who is the president of the Auxillary Post 7400 of the VFW and the District 2 president in her 7th year of presidency. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pam, thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about the Veterans Crisis Line and Post 7400 and veterans in the Verde Valley and all the fun things that you guys are doing over there at the Post and things like that.
Right.
But let's start out on a serious note. The Veterans Crisis Line. So you can check that out at veteranscrisisline.net. It connects veterans in crisis and their families and their friends with qualified, caring Department of Veterans Affairs responders in a confidential toll-free hotline or an online chat now, or you can text.
Right.
Hey, they're with the times.
But don't text and drive.
No, God, no. Pull over.
Yeah, we lose about 22 veterans and one active duty person a day due to suicide. And the veterans, a lot of them, it's because of the PTSD, and they're having a hard time coming back into the world of normalcy. So it's really a crisis with our veterans.
Absolutely. They've been through so much. They've had so much trauma.
Right.
And now we're really starting to understand the whole PTSD thing, which leads to a lot of emotional crises in the families. And the Veterans Crisis Line used to be called the National Veterans Suicide Prevention Hotline. Now they've changed that to Veterans Crisis Line as of just about 5 years ago.
Right.
Good choice for them.
Yes.
Veterans Crisis Line is a great thing. It's a 24-hour day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, free hotline.
Right. So it's good that, and one of the main issues is people are not recognizing depression is your biggest one that you watch for depression, and when they really are, then that's when you need to call the crisis line to get assistance with it.
Right. So if I was the wife of a military man and he's just returned, or he's been returned for a while, and I'm starting to notice changes in him, what should I look for? Of course, depression, which would be a lower mood, perhaps some more anger coming up.
Right.
What are some other signs that we might be getting into trouble here?
Well, depression, anger, pulling away. A lot of times when they are in that depressed state, they pull away from family and friends, and they just want to be left alone. And that is one of the major signs that it's not good.
Yep, it's time to take action.
Yes.
Yeah, and with the Veterans Crisis Line, you don't have to be the vet. You can be the vet's wife, daughter, cousin, neighbor, friend.
That's right. Anybody can call to get assistance. And it's free.
That's a good thing. So when they call, they're going to be speaking with someone professionally trained.
Right.
And probably a veteran themselves.
Probably.
Which is great.
Yes. One that's been through it probably and knows what to tell you and help you with.
Yeah, that's an amazing service to have.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know of anyone, or have you yourself called the Veterans Crisis Line?
Thankfully, no.
Yeah. That good positive attitude keeps you going.
That's right.
You know, in Verde Valley, we have over 25,000 vets, and in Yavapai County, actually, just Yavapai County. So we've got more, actually, a lot that are involved in. And what do you think is one of the main issues that we have here for our veterans?
Homelessness, not being able to get paperwork done, getting what they should be getting from the VA, and of course at Post 7400 we do have service officers at the post 2 days a week to assist any veteran who might need help to get paperwork in, to get what they need. And we also do a lot for homeless vets or vets that need assistance with food, lodging. You know, we just helped a couple of vets that came in from Prescott, and they had nowhere to go. We got them a hotel room for 3 days so that they could find something. And, you know, people had the wrong assumption about the VFW. They think we're all a bunch of drunks and we spend our life in the bar. Yes, we do have a bar. We call it a lounge. It is self-sufficient itself. It takes care of its own self. And it's just a place where veterans can go to talk to like people. But we do so much more for veterans and for the community. And sometimes I get so upset because, oh, well, they're just a bunch of drunks. No, we're not. So it's good. The VFW, probably this year we have probably spent, the Post has spent about $30,000 assisting veterans. Maybe more.
Wow.
That's just a figure
Sure. Where does that money come from?
Well, the main thing is our Buddy Poppy Drive, which is a year round, but we really push it in November around Veterans Day. You'll see veterans and auxiliary members standing in front of stores with their little Buddy Poppy cans, and you put a donation in, you get a Buddy Poppy, and you should wear it proudly.
Absolutely.
And our goal this year, which we've never made it, is $10,000. And so far, I think we've gotten a little over $3,000.
All right.
Because they've got they put a fundraiser on Facebook, and then the auxiliary had made little poppies that we hang in the lounge and sell them. We don't sell for poppies. We get donations.
Right. And
they donate, and they get one of these poppies, and they can put in memory of or honoring a veteran. And we just hang it around the room.
Oh, nice.
And so far, we've done pretty good with that, too.
That's great. It's a great head start towards 10,000. That's great.
Yes.
When does the drive officially start?
November 10th.
November 10th.
Is the first day we'll be out. And so we'll be out on November 10th and November 11th.
Very good. And how long will your guys be out and present in the community?
From 9 to 5, 2-hour shifts.
All right, great. And
So-
the donations all go to support the VFW Post 7400.
And it actually goes into the relief fund, where it is there to assist veterans.
Very good.
And it stays right here in the Verde Valley. None of it goes to national or anything. It stays right here.
Oh, that's good to know. So we're talking with Pam Van Winkle, who is the president of Auxillary, VFW Auxiliary Post 7400, also the District 2 president. We're talking about the Veterans Crisis Line. You can check it out at veteranscrisisline.net. We've got more countywide coming up for you soon, so don't go away because we've got lots more to talk about, and we'll be right back.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
The Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm Jen Cohen. We're speaking with Pam Van Winkle, who is the president of the VFW Auxillary Post 7400 and District 2 president. We've been talking about the Veterans Crisis Line, which is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year line for veterans, their families, their friends, their neighbors, anyone looking for some assistance in how to help a veteran. You can check them out on their number. Of course, you can also go to veteranscrisisline.net. They take texts. It's really quite an amazing organization. They just in their online service since 2009, they've engaged in over 300,000 chats in the past 4 years. They've gotten 67,000 texts. They help 74,000 people, 2.8 million calls in the past 5 years. It's really an amazing thing. Check out veteranscrisisline.net. Pam, thank goodness for the Veterans Service Department to have come up with, of course, it used to be called the National Veterans Suicide Prevention Hotline. Thank you for shortening it to the Veterans Crisis Line, to create this emergency service for veterans in need, because we know that when they're doing their job as a military serviceman or woman, they're under a lot of stress. Right. And then they come home and suddenly life is very different. And they have to find ways of coping with that. And thank goodness for the Veterans Crisis Line, and thank goodness for the VFW as well.
Right.
Because that room, that lounge full of people is a lounge full of friends and a lounge full of ears listening and hearts knowing what you're going through.
Yes.
And, you know, as veterans, and thank you everyone who's a veteran for their service, and thank you to our parents who are veterans and all that, the service that they do for our country. And we need to give back, and this is how we do it.
Exactly. You know, we have the service officers, we have the honor guard. They perform funerals, full-fledged military funeral for a veteran that has passed. They will go to schools and present the colors on special days. We had the Memorial Day service at the cemeteries, and then we had the POW MIA service ceremony that we do every September in honor of all MIAs. And luckily, they are finding so many of them. Every day, they're finding more of the MIAs. And all the way back to World War II. I don't have the figures I got them at the Post, but I don't have them in front of me now. But it is so awesome when they get to bring someone home and get them back to their family. Now the family can have closure, and the soldier can rest in peace at home. So that's an awesome thing.
Yeah. That is so important.
Yes.
Thank goodness for that. And speaking of World War II, Post 7400 has been around since the end of World War II, since 1945.
Exactly. Yes. It's older than me. And the Auxillary, they formed the Auxillary in 1946. At that time, it was Ladies Auxiliary. But about 3 years ago, they finally woke up and said, okay, we have a lot of ladies as soldiers, and their husbands are staying home. It's time we allow them in. So they changed it from Ladies Auxiliary to Auxiliary, and we can now accept male members of veterans.
Oh, very nice. So that's what the Auxiliary is for. We are the family members of the military people. We ourselves were not enlisted, but our family members, parents, husbands, spouses, things like that.
We're there to assist the post in any way that we can, and help with our veterans.
Yeah, it's wonderful, all the things that you're doing to assist the returning veterans, former veterans, you know, and obtaining the benefits they're entitled to from the Veterans Administration. Not an easy feat. To do that. It is in place. The system is in place to help our veterans. However, accessing that help can be challenging by yourself.
And every Monday and Tuesday from 9 to noon, we have a service officer at the post that can assist any veteran in any way, shape, or form that they can. We also have medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, shower chairs, commode chairs. We have a shed full of this stuff that we just give anybody that needs that. And when they're through with it, they just bring it back. We do not charge for that. In fact, right now, we even have a hospital bed minus the mattress. So if anybody needs a hospital bed, come see us.
You've got everything.
Yes.
That is truly amazing. So you've got the Buddy Poppy fundraiser that is going to start officially on November 10th and 11th.
Yes.
And all that money is going to go to the Assistance Fund.
The Relief Fund.
The Relief Fund.
And that's just for veterans and their families. It cannot be used for anything else.
And what type of things have you seen that assistance go towards?
Well, like I said earlier, we helped those two gentlemen get a room. We've paid rent. We've given them gas, bought groceries. Any help that they need, and they pass the criteria, we'll help them.
Great.
So it's awesome.
Truly. Thank goodness for the VFW Post and the Auxiliary Post and the Veterans Crisis Line. Again, check out veteranscrisisline.net. If you yourself are a veteran, you have a spouse or family member that's a veteran, or your neighbor's a veteran, and you notice something, you notice that shift, that depression starts, that pulling away starts. Pam, you said we lose over 22 vets a day to suicide.
And at least one soldier that's in duty.
Duty person. It's just, some days I bet it's an insurmountable amount of stress.
It is. Sometimes what they go through, especially when they're on the war zone, I can understand why when they come home, it's like, now what do I do? And they get depressed and...
They've been on such high alert for so long. They come here and everything's quiet. It's got to be like, oh, like someone who's had way too many espressos is suddenly dropped in a library. It must just be just awful. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I really can't. Thank goodness for you and the Auxiliary Post and the VFW and the Veterans Crisis Line. So we're talking to Pam Van Winkle, who is the president of the Auxiliary Post 7400, the VFW, here in Cottonwood. She's in her 7th year, and they've been here for over 45 years. It's quite amazing, or not more than 45 years, a heck of a lot more than 45 years. Hey, we've got more Countywide coming up, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late...
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
There are people who struggle with addiction and homelessness. Sometimes it may feel like there is nothing we can do to help.
But there is. You can make a tax-deductible donation and help those in need transition away from homelessness.
When you give someone a handout, you could actually be supporting an addiction.
A better life starts with better health, especially for those living in the streets.
Support solutions, not addictions. You can make a difference. Visit cottonwoodcares.com.
Q102.9 plays all the hits.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Ariana Grande.
Maroon 5.
This is Rihanna.
I'm Shawn Mendes.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
Ed Sheeran.
What's up, guys?
It's Justin Bieber.
You're listening to The Weeknd.
Start your day with Brian James in the morning. You'll get at least 10 songs in a row during your ride home with Julie Page.
Zach Sang Show.
Catch the Zach Sang Show weeknights 7 to midnight. And Kelly Fox weekends on your home for hit music. The Q102.9 and 104.9 in Prescott and Cottonwood.
And welcome back to Countywide. I'm your host, Jen Cohen. We're sitting with Pam Van Winkle, who is the president of the VFW's Auxillary Post 7400 and the District 2 president. The Burt Black Jr. VFW 7400 has been on helping folks here in the Verde Valley for 71 years. We've nailed that down. And we've been talking about the Veterans Crisis Line, which is a 24-hour-a-day line for veterans, their families, their friends, their spouses to call and receive help on how to help a veteran or help themselves with emotional trauma, perhaps depression, anything like that. Suicide prevention line. Basically, keep that in your head. Veterans Crisis Line. You want to give them a call if you need it. Now, a couple of things that the VFW Post 7400 does. We've talked about the Poppy Drive. We've talked about the MIA, POW ceremonies. We've talked about doing the colors for schools now. You've got another amazing fundraiser coming up called the Polar Express. Tell us about the Polar Express, Pam.
Oh, this is so exciting. They used to have it in Jerome, and the gal that ran it has retired. And one of my auxiliary members had donated time to help with that for 10 years. So she talked to the one that used to put it on, and we've decided to move it to the VFW to keep it alive and well. And what it is the kids come in their pajamas, accompanied by a parent, and the parent can wear pajamas too. And they come in, they write a letter to Santa, they make a Christmas ornament, and then they show bits and pieces of the Polar Express, and Mrs. Santa will be there to narrate it. And while that's happening, they'll get hot cocoa and cookies. And then there's a couple of other events that will be going on during that, and it's just really exciting. The charge would be $5 a person, $2, $2. 2 years and under are free. And the tickets, the first time we'll sell them is Halloween night at our table set up in Old Town. And both the Post and the Auxiliary will have a table. The Post will pass out coloring books, and we'll do the candy.
Nice.
And tickets will go on sale then. And then November 1st, you'll be able to get them at, let's see, Desert Dancer, the Cowboy Shop, Acme Pizza, the Chamber of Commerce, Vinny's Pizza, and Mooey Christmas in Jerome.
Oh, of course. Very nice.
And if you can't get a ticket before December 8th, and you want to buy it at the door, if there's room available, then it will be $6.
Okay. So an extra $1 at the door. But the money goes to the fund. So the extra $1, perhaps throw another donation in there.
Right.
Bring your kids in your pajamas for cookies and cocoa and decorating and seeing Mrs. Claus. And what a wonderful way to raise money to help the veterans.
And it's going to be so much fun. We're
super.
just so excited about it.
I'm so glad, Pam. Thank you so much for being here, Pam. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for everything that you're doing for the VFW here in the Verde Valley. Really appreciate it. Check out the VFW, the Burt Black Jr. VFW 7400. It's on 705 East Aspen Street in Cottonwood. You can go to VFWPost7400.org. Been here for 71 years, doing lots of good stuff. Check out the Veterans Crisis Line. We've been speaking with Pam Van Winkle. I'm Jen Cohen. That's it for Countywide. See you next time.